All right, in today's video, we're going to talk a little bit about BABA and also taking it from one decision to the next. There are some of my traders that might just take one of the bigger picture zones, for example, like this key support, and they might just buy it and stay with it and attempt to look for the upside target. And then there are some of them that will just take it from one decision to the next and kind of trade in and out of this stuff, still looking for ultimately a higher target unless this support's broken. So let me just show you a couple things that we saw today in BABA. Now, one, I did end up running the time resistance from this last low. I essentially used histogram. It's on the Dynamic Trader software. I projected from this last low when we might see time resistance to the rally, and it actually came up in the next few days. Okay, so we're in a time window for a pullback, as we were for whoever has been following my stuff. I had some timing in the S&P and NASDAQ early this week for a possible pullback. Now, it doesn't mean that the rally is over forever, but we're at least looking for a pullback, and then we start monitoring the price and time on the way down for another possible entry. But here again, we had some resistance to the rally, and we also did have an actual extension. Okay, and you have to remember that many moves tend to terminate at extensions of prior swings, but after the last shorter term setup that we had, we met the 1272 extension on the upside and just fell just short of the 1618. So there's a little bit of resistance here. So now what? Does that mean we give up in BABA? No, not necessarily, but number one, you'd ratchet up stops if you're still long, and I've run new areas for possible entries. Okay, because what you do is you rinse and repeat. Last time I had a pullback zone, it hit, it held, it rallied to here, made almost two targets, and now I'm going to set it up again, and we'll just see if it triggers again. Because the last time we did get the pullback, we finally did see the signals that told us it was okay to look at the buy side again. So the new areas that I'm going to focus on for tomorrow's session, and if we don't get a trigger, I'm not going to take a trade, but 186.61 all the way up to 188.08. However, the focus would be 186, 187 handles. And then the other area underneath is 183.94 to 184.43. So what we do is we wait and we see if one of these zones is tested, and then if it's tested, does it hold? So if it holds, stabilizes against this area, we then go down to a lower time frame chart to look for a trigger. So typically, if I'm going to look at something like this tomorrow, I might just look for a 2-minute chart buy trigger to tell me that it's worth placing a bet for a day trade. Okay, or you might wait for well, actually, it just depends on how tight you want to play it. Some people use tick chart triggers. Some of you use minute charts. Some of you are going to use like a 15-minute. So anyway. That's what I have for you to look at tomorrow, and we'll see if it holds or not.